Hey, this is Coach Bo with 8020baseball.com. Recently, I put out a video showing a back pick at second base, and we talked about the catcher signaling to the middle infielders. On this one, and this is actually in the College World Series a few years ago, you're going to see the Tennessee catcher clearly give the back pick sign to his first baseman, and he almost gets the back pick to get out of this key situation against the stud hitter with runners on first and second and 2 outs. Watch right here. Multiple taps to the leg. That is the sign to the first baseman that he's back picking. Base coaches, we need to be watching this. This is a base coach's job to see this, or the dugout. Base runners can't see this because they're watching the pitcher. The thing we can learn here is base coaches, I think it's actually more important to watch the catcher before the pitch here as a base coach than it is the pitcher. I think the base runners should be keying in on the pitcher because the pitcher has the ball, and if you're off the base, you should know where the ball is at and have your eyes fixed on that. The base coach doesn't need to watch the pitcher because the base coach can't get picked off. And let's be honest, by the time the base coach yells back, either the runner's going to be picked off or not. Yelling back doesn't really save a lot of base runners. By the time the base runner processes that back call, it's a done deal for the most part. So I would actually rather have base coaches key in on a sign from the dugout, a verbal from the dugout, so you're listening to the dugout as a base coach, or if you're in the dugout as a coach, you're listening for a verbal from a coach that could put on the back pick. So typically the catcher puts this on, although I have seen it put on by coaches. In fact, years ago, about 20 years ago, I was coaching against a team where the coach came out and yelled no doubles to his defense. That was their verbal for a back pick to first base. But this is about as clear as a signal as you can give without telling everybody in the stadium you're back picking or something's on. That right there, tapping the leg, clearly not something he normally does. In fact, I watched all the pitches before this and after this. He didn't do it again. In my opinion, that's that coach's responsibility or a coach in the dugout. But we can watch these other signals that can foretell something else is coming down the pike, like this back pick here. Overall, this is a really good job on defense. This is more of a video of showing what to look for. Coaches, players, look for those signals from the catchers. Catchers will, if you're looking, catchers will tip a lot of what they're doing. That's because they have to clearly communicate it to their infielders. They can't disguise their stuff too much because nobody will be on the same page. But now as an offense, we'll be able to see it more clearly. If you're looking for these things, those signs, you'll clearly see them. They're just hoping nobody's paying attention. Again, about 20 years ago, I was coaching against a catcher who's one of the best defensive catchers now in the major leagues, been there forever. I was coaching against him. He was in high school and they did the phantom pickoff move, but they set it up with the catcher's glove. The glove movement was nothing like the other pitches. This play had worked for that program with that coach for 30 years and it continued to work. In fact, it had worked in the first round of the playoffs. It didn't work against us because we picked up on the catcher giving signals. So that's the main message of this Diamond Insight series. If you watch the catcher, especially as you get to that middle school and high school level, you'll be able to predict and see things that are going to happen a lot by watching the catcher, what they do and don't do. This has been Coach Bo with 8020baseball.com. I hope this Diamond Insight video helps you youth players, you younger players, learn the game faster.